Welcome to Firepower. Today we run a blunt, dirty, and completely practical test. .350 Legend versus .30-30 Winchester. Not even close. 2 cartridges, 2 philosophies, and a series of ballistic gel tests to see which one actually does the job when it matters. Strap in, use hearing, and eye protection. This is not a history lesson, this is a performance trial. Before the first shot, understand our objectives. We compared penetration, permanent cavity, and how each bullet mushrooms when it hits intermediate barriers, layers like clothing, thin metal, book pages, and light wood. Because those are the real-world variables hunters and shooters face. Which bullet goes deeper? Which expands reliably to create terminal damage? Most importantly, which cartridge is better for hunting or defense under realistic conditions? Here's the test setup. We set 2 standard ballistic gel blocks in line to measure penetration through the first block into the second. Along the wound channel, we staged cookies pans, thick books, heavy fabric, and thin wood to simulate intermediate barriers. Every shot was recorded with high-speed cameras so we could watch the moment of impact and inspect bullet deformation frame by frame. Muzzle velocity was recorded with a chronograph, and every shot was repeated multiple times to avoid conclusions based on one lucky or unlucky round. First up, .350 Legend, fired from an AR pattern upper. The initial results were impressive. The .350 Legend showed high velocity and routinely passed through the first gel block into the second. When it encountered barriers like a cookie pan or a book, it displayed 2 clear behaviors. Sometimes it mushroomed, creating a large wound channel in the first block, and sometimes it remained relatively intact and pushed deep before finally stopping. In many shots, the .350 Legend retained enough momentum to penetrate both gel blocks, demonstrating strong penetration and retained energy at distance. Next, we tested the .30-30 Winchester, fired from a traditional lever action to reflect real-world hunting use. The .30-30 behaved very differently. The bullet tended to dump energy earlier, meaning it delivered most of its energy into the first gel block, producing a large permanent cavity right at the impact point. Frequently, the .30-30 did not penetrate into the second gel block as the .350 Legend did. Instead, it stopped earlier or was retained after a shorter travel distance. That result suggests the .30-30 transfers more energy quickly at short range but has less overall penetration than the .350 Legend under these test conditions. Now let's look at the practical consequences of those behaviors. The .350 Legend's combination of speed and penetration is advantageous when you need to penetrate barriers, thick hide, fat layers, or a large-bodied animal's mass. A bullet that pushes deep and carries energy into the vitals is effective for deer or hogs, especially when fired from an AR platform that provides higher muzzle velocity. That makes the .350 Legend an attractive choice for someone who wants an AR-friendly cartridge with strong frontal penetration and manageable recoil. By contrast, the .30-30 Winchester behaves as an energy dump. It transfers much of its energy close to the entry site, which can create a significant immediate wound cavity. For short-range hunting, that's a desirable trait. If you're shooting inside dense woods and the shot is under 100 to 150 yards, the .30-30's tendency to deliver energy early produces a strong stopping effect. That is exactly why the .30-30 has been a favorite for brush hunting for generations. The downside is when shots lengthen or intermediate barriers appear. In those cases, the .30-30 may not retain enough momentum to create deep terminal damage. An interesting observation from our test was how each bullet's expansion behavior varied. Both cartridges showed different mushrooming responses depending on the bullet construction and the barrier encountered. The .350 Legend sometimes mushroomed impressively on fabric or thin metal, creating a wide initial wound channel. Other times it held together and prioritized penetration over expansion. The 30-30 often produced large mushrooms at close range when passing through soft barriers, which explains its strong immediate tissue disruption at short distances. But don't draw sweeping conclusions from gel tests alone. Ballistic gels simulate soft tissue but cannot duplicate complex bone structures, variable fat deposits, or organ placement of a live animal. Bullet behavior also depends heavily on bullet type. Jacketed hollow points, soft points, and FMJS all behave differently. In these trials, we used representative bullet designs for each cartridge to reflect common, real-world loads, but your choice of bullet for hunting or defense should be deliberate and purpose-driven. Platform and muzzle velocity matter a great deal, too. The .350 Legend in these tests was shot from an AR upper and achieved significantly higher muzzle velocities than the .30-30 from a lever gun, which is a major factor in its superior penetration here. It's not just the cartridge by itself, it's the whole system. Barrel length, chamber pressure, velocity, and bullet construction work together to produce terminal effects. So what does this mean for you? If you hunt in thick timber at close ranges and you prioritize immediate stopping power, the 30-30 remains a sensible, time-tested choice. If you want a modern cartridge that runs in AR platforms and delivers deeper penetration and retained energy at medium ranges, the .350 Legend showed clear advantages in our setup. One final note on ethics and safety. Ballistic performance is an important practical consideration, but it's not the only one. Legal constraints, intended use, and hunting ethics must guide your selection. Always choose the proper bullet type for your quarry, practice frequently, and aim for a clean, single-shot kill to minimize animal suffering. Thanks for watching this test. If you found it useful, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss deeper ballistics breakdowns, bullet comparisons, and more real-world tests. Tell us in the comments which bullets and barriers you want to see next. Different distances, different bullet types, or specific intermediate materials, and we'll plan our follow-up tests accordingly. This is Firepower. We test the facts, not the marketing. Stay safe, practice responsibly, and we'll see you in the next test.